Hey guys, Aaron McGrew here. So who else you want to see? My channel, boo. Hey, well, this video is just going to be like an offshoot on a couple of my videos ago on the topic of homosexuality. Because I really didn't share that much of my life story. And I gave my life story called like a progressive testimony. This will basically be a remake of this video. Maybe I'll actually title it that. Because I made that video probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and like things changed, and plus back then I was really kind of like mousy. Now I just don't really give a care. I just wanted to give you guys just an inside look as far as like what my typical day in the life looks like, or a view in like a side of anybody's shoes who walk this life as well. Well, I've always been a loner. I've always been a quiet kid. That's just me. I was always playing by myself, doing whatever, I don't know. When it came to friendships, actually, it's funny because like right in here, I don't know if you can see that, it has my name in it, Aaron. And there's a school file in there that holds all of my like elementary school to like high school, all that, like grades and stuff. Well, in my earlier years, you can see on nearly all of my report cards, the teacher's comments say something along the lines of how quiet I am, and I'm really concerned about Aaron's social life. Rude. And hey, what do you know? Like, I still have social problems today. But, when I did hang around people, it was usually the girls. Back then, I only hung out with whoever reached out to me, so I really didn't have a choice in my friendships. Like, whoever approached me, it's like, oh, you see me? Weird. Like, as long as they weren't mean, as long as they were nice, I was cool with them. Well, of course, girls are usually the nicer specimen between males and females. So I always hung around females, and the thing about hanging around females when you're a guy is that you tend to grow up very feminine. And that's still my problem today. As a matter of fact, I didn't even hang around guys until I moved into Bible college after I graduated high school. And I had to move into an all-men's dormitory. That was a very crazy culture shock for me. Because the way guys relate to guys and girls relate to girls is extremely different. And since I've always hung around girls, like the way I always related to people was the way girls relate to girls. So when I moved into a dormitory of all guys, I figured, oh, I would just relate to the guys the way I related to girls. Well, girls and girls, like, they're all about, like, deep conversations, kind of like, they tend to be touchy-feely. They're very close, they're very intimate, and they talk about a lot of things. Guys, not so much. I mean, I'm talking stereotypes here. I mean, well, it's like deeper than stereotypes. Like, this is the majority of people. This is just the majority of how things are. Like, there are exceptions in every case, but this is generally how the population is. Well, I came in there just... Oh, it's weird. How do I even explain this? Well, when you're a guy growing up around girls, you become used to girls. Like, they're all you're ever known. So, like, when puberty hits, you become attracted to what's different. So, probably around the age of 14, I was just budding in high school. I had no idea what homosexuality was, or even that a thing like that existed. Like, I didn't even know guys could be attracted to guys. I didn't know that was, like, a thing. Like, that was just, like, that concept wasn't even in my mind. I've never heard of that. But one day, I caught myself staring at one of the guys in my Spanish class. I couldn't take my eyes off of him, and next thing I know, like, I would keep staring at him regularly from that point on, from then and like throughout high school. And I would think about him in not so innocent ways when I was 14. Because, like, you know, every kid, like, whenever puberty starts, like, it's just like, whoa, what's going on with my body? Like, why am I thinking about this person this way? But, of course, at the time, I'm like, it's puberty. It's my first time going through puberty. I mean, you only go through it once. Like, I don't know anything. And plus, I was a very, very extremely sheltered kid. I don't even remember if I paid attention in health class when they did the sex unit. Like, I would just be having anxiety attacks all throughout that class, and I'd just be kind of, like, shocked because I'm just, like... I think I was about 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old when I learned that stuff. I still didn't learn all that much just because I was probably daydreaming because I was too afraid to be exposed to that kind of thing. But, I don't know, like, it's just... It was weird, and as high school went on, I started staring at other guys, and I also started feeling extremely uncomfortable in my own skin whenever we had the gym unit and we had to change in the locker rooms. I had to have a row all to myself, or I would change in like a bathroom stall because I felt very insecure about my body. I think around that time, I was on a boys' swim team, and it was just really weird. Because, yeah, I would stare at the guys, but I would also be really uncomfortable in the water, especially in front of an audience. Like, I would walk around like this a lot, like crossing my arms, or like this, pretending, and just like, I would even fake a shiver even if I wasn't cold, just to be like, oh, I'm cold. But in reality, I was just covering my body because I felt naked, I felt vulnerable. It's like, I felt like I was exposing my breasts, even though I was a male. But oh my goodness, my freshman year of Bible college was very difficult for me. And the faculty and staff didn't know what to do with me. A lot of other students had no idea how to handle me. I didn't know how to handle myself. I didn't know what to tell you to handle me. Like, I'm like, what I was going through is new to me too. Like, I don't know. But I remember specifically in one class, we were learning about the differences between the way females think and the way males think, like, generally. Like, John Gray's men are from Mars, women are from Venus type of stuff. When we went through that, I was speechless. Because as our teacher went through, like, the bullet points of, like, the way each one thought, I was strictly female in the way that I thought. And when we went through, like, the male pattern of thinking, my jaw was dropped, like, the whole spiel of that, because I didn't even know men thought that way. It was, I don't know, that just started me off in, like, a whole new identity crisis, and oh my goodness, I was so emo. I was suicidal for about, like, 10 years just because, like, dealing with stuff like this. But, I mean, I'm over it now, because at this point, I don't even care. It's like, Lord, I'm living my life, I'm here, do what you want with me, your will be done, not mine. Your will above my own. But, I don't know, enough of that. I just want to give an inside look as far as, like, what a typical day in the life is. It's very hard. Because, well, for one, I am very passionate about my religious beliefs. Like, I love God, I love His Word. I've been studying it for a long time. I've been doing music I've been doing church music for a long time, and I love how it feels to sing and to worship Him. And I love His presence and everything. Like, He's a good God. He always has been and always will be. Like, that's me. But at the same time, dealing with same-sex attractions in this, it's very hard to connect with people. I mean, for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm sure it wouldn't be a shocker if people felt this way too. But people don't know how to handle this type of thing. And I can't really blame them for that. Because I don't know how to handle this. Like, I just deal with it. I just have to live with it. But as far as, I don't even know, because basically you have, how do I explain this? There are different types of people. Like in the church, you have the people who, they're very adamant at just telling you, like, you shouldn't be thinking that way, like, that's a sin, you know, right? And like right off the bat, like as soon as you confess that you have like these feelings, they're just like, Leviticus 18:22, like, have you ever heard this verse before? It's like, no, enlighten me. Like, I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but it's just, people like that, they treat you like you're an amateur, like you've never heard this before. It's like, honey, I've known this for like the past 15 years. I used to whip that same scripture out to people, to other homosexuals, who, when I wasn't even acknowledging my own attractions. So like when people whip out verses like that and just throw them in your face, like after you confess these things, it hurts. Like, it hurts. Because they're completely oblivious to why you've been in so much emotional distress over the past like 15 years or however long it's been. Because those same verses they just put in your face are like the same things you learned many, many, many years ago, and that initially started you off in like this distress that would carry on for years and years and years. So it's like, here they are, oblivious, and they're taking you back to like childhood. It's like, hey. So they kind of make you feel like you're stupid. I mean, it hurts to hear that kind of stuff. I know they mean well, but it hurts. And then there's like the other extreme in the church. How they're kind of like the church rebels, the hypocrites basically. They're like, when actually in the service, they're dressed to a T. Their hair is like perfect, and they're very like, oh, God is so good. And they're like at the first at the altar and the last to leave. But behind the scenes, when you get them behind the closed doors, they're like swearing, drinking, doing whatever. They're watching like crazy secular videos. And then when you vent to them about this stuff, they're just like, oh, that's okay, whatever. And like, it's just like a no big thing. And it's just, I don't know, those people just kind of rub me the wrong way as well. Mainly just because they're two-faced. And it's like, honey, I need you to be on the same page with yourself. Because you're about as crazy as I am right now. And then there are the people in the church who are like right in the middle. They're very real. And they love you. They express like, yes, I know, or yes, I believe homosexuality is a sin. I'm gonna hold that belief. And like, I still love you though. Like, those are typically the people that I hang out with. Because they're just right in the middle and they're pretty chill. As long as you're chill, it's like, ugh. Because seriously, people like us deal with so much drama in our own heads, like on our own. We really don't need any more condemnation or like Bible verses hurled in our faces, because we've already memorized those verses several hundred times. We've reread them, we've delved into them, we've delved into history. Like, we know we've done our research more often than not. So like, it's just frustrating. Well then, also on the other hand, it's very hard to be a witness for Christ in the world, in the secular world, because I mean, I personally, I don't know how to carry myself when I'm outside of the church and in the real world. Because I can be very kindly and I'll be authentic, but it's weird. I feel like there's like this big part of me I have to keep hidden because I have to uphold, I mean, my own beliefs, like the beliefs of the church. Yet, it's like you're preaching one thing, yet you're secretly kind of dealing with like the opposite of that. And it's just, it's hard to find that balance. And I will be very honest with you. Well, I tend to stay inside of my house. I tend to stay very sheltered still. Like, I don't leave my house all that much. I don't even go outside if I absolutely have to, just because it is very hard for me to socialize. Because it takes a lot of work to be open, especially with something about this. Because people are typically, they like to talk, they like to tell you, they like to give you advice when you don't ask for it or don't look for it. But sometimes you just need a vent. And you just need somebody to listen. And I mean, me personally, I'd rather vent, and I can advise my own self. I just need a little, like, someone to vomit on. And then I can go back and take care of myself, and I'm cool. But then dealing with it when people are just, oh, I don't know. It hurts to be vulnerable. It's scary to be vulnerable and be open about this stuff. I mean, I'm totally being a guinea pig right now. I'm making like a sacrifice, a human sacrifice right now, for the rest of the people who are in my situation. Because a lot of other people, they're way too scared to make videos like this. Like me, you know, I've been a loner for most of my life, like I said, and I've been rejected. I've lost a lot in my life. I'm really not afraid to lose friends anymore, because been there, done that. I'm not afraid of being condemned, because been there, done that. Developed thick skin, like, it's just like, I've heard it all from all ends of the spectrum. At this point, it's like, I'm just gonna blab out whatever comes out, because the thing about Christianity, like, if you're gonna be the real deal, you firstly have to be completely vulnerable and honest and open with God. And with people. I mean, you have to use your discretion with people. Like, sometimes people take advantage of the information you give them. But, I don't know what to do with this stuff. So yeah, a typical day in the life of me, it's like, please punch me in the face. Also, I mentioned this in the homosexuality video, but I didn't get to expound on this that much about transgenderism, because the whole Caitlyn Bruce Jenner thing, I mean, like, the thing I just don't like is when people are being rude. It's like, you can hold your beliefs, but don't be rude. And it's also something that's not easily understood as well. Like, I don't even understand it completely, but I have dealt with it in my life, personally. I mean, for me, it was kind of a phase. I still kind of deal with it now. Kind of still feeling like the proverbial woman in a man's body. But I don't know. Like, for me, that's how I grew up. Like, I've always hung around girls, and you tend to become like who you surround yourself with. So I became very girly, and I don't know, when no one was looking, I would try on mom's high heels. When I would go to like malls, I would try on like high heels in the store, or like women's clothing in the dressing room so nobody can see. Like, I wanted to be a drag queen. Like, I wanted to do all that stuff. I mean, at the point where I wanted to become a woman, it's like, I just didn't feel comfortable being a man. I still don't feel comfortable being a man, because I've never had a strong male figure in my life to look up to. I've never had that role model. And I felt more comfortable being around women, and like, I figured I would feel more comfortable being a woman because that's all I've ever known. So here I am, living as a man, but I don't know how men are supposed to live. I don't know like what the expectations of like masculinity are, or like how I'm supposed to be or whatnot. I'm just kind of going by whatever. I don't even think about it anymore, honestly. Like, I just do what comes naturally. I think, no, I know I've become a lot more masculine over the years since college, and I can't really explain it. It just kind of happened. Like, I don't flick my wrists around as much as I used to. At least, I don't think so. I don't know. I think my voice has kind of changed a little bit. My way of thinking. I think I've kind of become a little more neutered in my brain. Because like whereas before, when I was younger, it was like strictly female thinking. But like now, I'm like right in the center of like male, female. Like I have more of an androgynous mindset, I would say. But yeah, I could totally understand like the whole transvestite type of thing. Because you're just... It's really a matter of just like feeling comfortable in your own skin. Like whether you agree with it or not. Like I'm just talking right now. Because to this day, I don't feel comfortable as a man in my skin. Like I don't always express that, and I try not to show it, but... I really can't explain it any more than that. It's just... What do you do? Like, how do you handle people like that? 'Cause I know being rude isn't the answer. And it's so cliche, but it's like WWJD. I always think about how when Jesus dined with sinners, he said it's not the healthy, the well that need a physician, but it's the sick, basically. And that was when the Pharisees, or when the Jews were like questioning him, like, why are you hanging out with these people, these crusty sinners? It's like, because they were spiritually ill. And he wanted to be with them so he could heal their hearts, heal their brokenness, so they can become like whole people and become saints. Because of God's forgiveness. So like, I feel like with a transvestite or with anybody, really, you just need to hang around them, get to know them before you preach at them, really. Find out where they're coming from, like what their background is. Just be kind to them. Earn their trust. And really, you just gotta go with like their own pace as far as where they want to go. Like if they're hungry for God, feed them. If they're not hungry, it's like, you can still befriend them, but just, I don't know, like if they're truly hungry for God, you can minister to them, like bit by bit, like baby steps. Because you can't just overdo or undo years worth of whatever, like mental investment, like in themselves. You can't just undo that in like a snap. Like that's gonna take some time. And like you can't really force anybody to do anything. It's gotta be their choice. Which would be a rare thing, like if anybody wants to change back. It does happen though. I mean, some people change their minds, like later on, but it's just a really frustrating thing to deal with, because it's becoming more and more popular these days. Just like homosexuality and this type of stuff. And it's such a sensitive topic. Because you're dealing with people's emotions, like people's upbringing, like the way people, like the mindsets people have developed over like years and years, and like that's all I've ever known. So now suddenly to be like, hey, that's wrong. It's like, boy, what you talking about? It's like, me. So yeah, so if you're in my shoes, you typically just want to like hide yourself in your room and just kind of ignore it all. Like, I'm glad I never got into drugs or alcohol or any of that stuff, because I'd probably be all over that. Because I'll be honest, I do things to numb the pain too. I mean, it's nothing like life-threatening or anything. It's mainly just, I guess like my main vice is social media. Or excessive, like watching videos on YouTube, doing crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles are like crack to me, because it takes my mind off of problems, or doing puzzles, or researching stuff, like even like researching the Bible, digging into that. I mean, it's a good thing. I like the stuff that I learn, but it just kind of like takes up time, kind of numbs the pain, numbs the reality. As far as me, I know someday I'm gonna have to like face reality and like deal with whatever I'm dealing with. All I can do is take it one step at a time, one day at a time. It's really, really frustrating, and I feel like I have to do it alone. I mean, I am doing it alone. Stop interrupting me. Because there are people who are there for me. They care. I mean, they care about me, but they really just don't know how to help. They really don't know what to say exactly. And I love them. I have to say that. Even I may not even always acknowledge them like I should, because when you're dealing with something very difficult, it's very hard to not be self-centered. And hey, guess what? I tend to be very self-centered. A lot of people can say amen to that. Ooh. But I have to give credit to where credit is due. Like, there are people who are there for me, who are there to listen, even when I don't talk. Or I don't even take advantage of their offer. Mainly just because I'm scared, and typically I already know what they're going to say, and it's just, I'm tired of hearing it. Even though I only mean well, and I love them for it, but it's just really hard. Like, so far the only people I feel like I can open up to are the people who are in my situation, who deal with same-sex attractions and hold like the same beliefs, like the exact same beliefs that I have. Which is extremely rare. Because usually people in this situation, there's a lot of shame and regret. They tend to be very... They can be quiet, they can be very anxious, not willing to open up about this stuff. They feel so ashamed that they beat themselves up, like they're just dwell in self-hatred. And that's something I used to dwell in, but I don't think that's right either. I know that's not right. It's never right to dwell in self-hatred. So yeah, it's dealing with that too. It's because people in this situation tend to dwell in that because it's not something you can just pray away or just turn off like a switch, even though we wish we could. It's something really you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, like step by step. I don't have all the answers. I really don't. All I know is just what I've been through, and what I've been through I'm still going through, so let to God be the glory. I'm still in church because God's been good. He's been good to me. And I love this stuff. I love the Bible. I love what Jesus does. I love how he still moves today the way he did in the New Testament scripture, like the New Testament's still being written, so to speak. And it's just not something I ever want to leave. It's hard to find myself like living in it sometimes, but I still keep plowing on because I'm very passionate about it. This is like my deepest passion. So I'm sticking with it, but at the end of the day, it's still just like, Lord, I wish I could just be with somebody, but I don't know, like, I'm not attracted to women. I never really have been. I've tried to force myself. To this day, I mean, there are girls that I love, but it's just, they don't become more than like a sister to me. Like, I can hang out with a hot girl like all day long, and it's just like, okay girl, it's time to go. But, oh yeah, I guess another thing that's hard to deal with, it's like, since this isn't something you can easily be open with, it's hard to hang out with or make female friends, especially those who, they're real passionate about wanting to get that husband. And what do you do? Because, well, this brings me to another topic. I'm all over the place. But as far as like marriage, I mean, there are some people in my situation who do like move on and they do end up getting married to the opposite sex and like having children. I can't talk about that situation because I've never been there. I don't know their complete stories. I don't know what they've been through completely. And I'm not here to down them or anything like that. It's just, I'm like, just right now, as far as like where I've been and what I see now, it's like, that is not for me. At least right now. But like, I'm not gonna make promises. I'm not just gonna make claims because, you know, life throws unexpected turns. Who knows what's gonna happen like 10, 15, 20 years down the road. But like right now, it's like, no, I wouldn't even consider marrying, like being with a woman. And the main reason why, it's like, why would you go put yourself in a relationship if you know that you're gonna break her heart? Because like, I'm doing women a justice because I would be doing women a horrible injustice by dating them. Like, at least, like, especially now, because I can't give them what they want, what they desire. Like this, like, because my romantic feelings for them are forced and aren't real. So like, I could never put a woman through that. Like, I care about people. Like, sometimes if you really truly care about people, you have to stay single so you don't hurt them. But anyway, guys, this video is like hecka long. I hope you learned something, and if you ever want to talk to me about this in person, like, feel free. Like, I'm pretty much an open book now. I really have nothing else to lose, so just ask me about it. I'll tell you whatever. Just be chill. It's like, that's all I ask. Be chill. Let's talk about this casually. But thumbs up, subscribe. I love you guys. Peace out.